This meeting is being recorded.
Great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being able to be here today. I'm Bryden and I am the chair. It's great to see we have some new folks joining us. Sorry I missed you all when you started last month, but it's just a treat to have you. Let's get started. I officially call this meeting to order at 4:30. And let's go around and see who we have for roll call. We have myself, Bryden Cook. We have Dale Bernard, Tom Kurtz, Katie McDonald, Bruce Montgomery. Let's see, and Renee, apologies, I'm not sure about your last name there.
That's okay, it's Schoenbeck, we're okay.
Schoenbeck, great, thank you. And Ria. Those are our board members. And then we also have Sheila Conroy as a guest. And of course,
see any, but thank you
for
letting me be here.
Thank you, Sheila. And of course, Councilwoman Susie Hidalgo-Fari. Great, y'all. Well, do we have any public to be heard this time around?
I'm not aware of any public invited to be heard.
Okay. Well then, we'll look at the minutes now. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to take a look at the minutes from last month. Any questions or comments on that? If not, then can we hear a motion to approve them?
I move that we approve the minutes, last month's minutes.
Thank you, Bruce. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thanks, Katie. Great. All in favor, please raise your hands. Excellent. Looks like we have unanimous. That has passed. There we go. Great. And we will move on now to the accessions with Eric.
I will share my screen. All right. Can you all see the heading page, January 2022 accessions?
Yes.
All right. So we've got quite a few this time around, a lot of which are loans, what were loans for our Longmont 150 exhibit that have been converted to donations. So but, feel free to ask questions as we go. So the first item is one of these was part of the Longmont 150 exhibit, things related to the Northern Arapahoe, our new sister city. So we have a Northern Arapahoe flag, some magazines produced by the Northern Arapahoe, and then two photographs that were taken by the chair of Sister Cities, Janice Rebham, that were both included in the Longmont 150 exhibit, and that we felt like were really great photos, particularly the one of the Northern Arapahoe children braiding hair in front of the mural in Longmont of hair braiding. Just kind of a really cool photo. So that is our first item related to the Longmont 150. Next up, we've got some more Longmont 150. These are objects actually produced by the city of Longmont for Longmont 150. We have a beer glass, a sticker.
It's empty, Eric.
It is, yes. You missed the whole array of empty beer glasses that we had coming in on the front side of the exhibit. So this is one on the back side, and then a challenge coin that the city produced. City of Longmont, 150 years. So these are all collateral basically produced by the city for celebrating the 150th. Next, and I believe this is our last accession for 2021, so it came in before December 31. Also from Longmont 150, these are items related to the Fast Tracks project that has been ongoing since 2004 to get rail to Longmont. Might happen by Longmont 200, we will see. But these are all things that actually came from the planning department. We borrowed them and they agreed they didn't need them, so thought they were appropriate to add to the museum's collection. Then we have the sticker ball that was in Longmont 150, created by Sticker Giant, which is a local business. Somebody's trying to ask a question. Go ahead if you are. All right. And then some just individual sticker packs also from Sticker Giant. Next up, again from Longmont 150, this is a demonstration fiber optic cable that Longmont Power and Communications Next Light created for the Longmont 150 exhibit, and it seemed like something we might want to show again, so we went ahead and recommended it for accession. Then we have a number of photographs, digital photos taken in 2003 and 2002 at various LGBTQ events. I believe one of these, this one of the man wrapped in the pride flag, was displayed in Longmont 150. The others were also, in consideration. We felt like all of these seemed appropriate to add to the museum's collection. These are digital photos, as were the ones earlier. Then this is a bit more of a difficult topic. These were white supremacist flyers, as well as a newspaper article that kind of gives some context, that were distributed in Longmont in 2002. And we felt like it was appropriate to add those to the collection, because not just about positive history, but we also need to document negative aspects of Longmont history as well. Then a non-Longmont 150 item, although it was kind of spurred, I think, by the Longmont 150 exhibit, which had some Longmont Bottling Works bottles in it, but another one was donated in January to the museum. We've got quite a, I believe we have 15 now Longmont Bottling Works bottles, but only one other like this. So appropriate to have that. And finally, we've got 4 more digital photographs. This one, number 2, was used in the Longmont 150 exhibit, and the others, again, document the Chinese New Year celebration, one of the larger cultural celebrations in Longmont. So any questions that folks have, I can stop sharing so that if people want to see each other while we're discussing it, we can do that.
Eric,
Yes.
I'm just curious, since all of these accessions, all of these things are being an accession to our permanent collection from the 150th, I was just wondering, how does that compare to, for instance, the World War I exhibit? I mean, did we get some items through that? I mean, the exhibits that we do that focus on Longmont?
Yeah, this is certainly the most that I can remember that we've had, and there's actually even a couple of more that there's at least one more that just didn't make it in for this meeting, and then we'll have a couple other possibilities that we're still considering it. So this is,
I was just curious.
More. We did get, I think, maybe 1 or 2 for the World War I, but I think because it was a little more narrow, maybe we didn't get as much. And we did a lot more active collecting for Longmont 150 and going out in loans. So there was a lot more on loan that seemed like we could ask at the end of the exhibit and see if they'd be interested in doing it.
They look good.
Eric, comment on the LGBTQ event photos.
Uh-huh.
Less about the event and more of an editorial thing. The initialism is written down, it's LBGTQ, and it should be LGBTQ.
All right, thank you.
Common, if that's what gets put into something, then we want to make sure we get the initialism right.
Yes, yes, I've seen it there's several different versions of it, but I will make sure
Ah, okay.
the right one for this. In fact, I may check with the photographer and see what they prefer.
Any other comments or questions about these? If not, can we hear a motion to approve them?
I so move.
Thanks, Dale. Second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Rhea. All in favor, raise your hand. And it looks like all in favor. It looks like it's unanimous. Great, thank you. That passes unanimously. Next up, we're going to move on to report of the museum director.
Hello, everybody. When I read the report, I'm kind of looking over here. So let me know if you've got any questions. Just holler at me, since I'm not keeping an eye on all of you while I'm reading this. For those who might be new to this, I typically don't read every word of the report, but certainly open for questions on any of it, and we can add things to it as well if need be. So the first section of this particular report is about the development activity. So maybe just a little bit of a background that in the last couple of years now, what we have gone through is that the museum received SEFD Tier 2 recognition, and as a result of making the bump, well, maybe I should go back even further. SEFD is the Scientific Cultural Facilities District, that is the 7-county district out of Denver, surrounding Denver, where tax dollars are given to cultural organizations. And so we receive a significant amount of money from that. It used to be about $30,000, $25,000-ish. And when we bumped into Tier 2, that gave us a significantly more amount of money. I'm not going to remember the numbers off the top of my head, but about $200,000, I think, in the last year. And with those dollars, we ended up hiring a development director. And so things that we've never been able to accomplish in the past, we've been able to do in this past year. And so I expect that this portion of the grant is going to get, I mean, this portion of the report is going to get more and more robust as she does her work. Megan is our new development director. So we've got, we were awarded $200,000 in the state arts relief funds through the Colorado Creative Industries. We also had a private donation of $10,000 in our year-end giving. So the year-end Colorado Gives amount total was $13,622. We currently have 693 active members. And I think that actually is down from a high of about 800, if I remember off the top of my head, that we were able to have during our Ansel Adams exhibition, which is by far one of the most popular exhibitions that we've had to date. So that we are only down by 100 members is actually, I think, really, really good news. And I expect that as, you know, we recover from the coronavirus, that number is going to just really go up and up and up. We've also applied for a Longmont Community Foundation Live and Give grant, and then we're also compiling information for our annual report, which I think is just going to, what we intend to do with that is really try to graph out statistics and data that we are able to collect about not only the development work that we're doing and fundraising, but also attendance and the number of people that we're reaching through our educational programs and all of that. This is a report that isn't actually required of us by anybody, but as we develop more of a program for our fundraising arm, it's a really, really useful tool to be able to talk to people about who we are and what we do and where our strengths are. And so with Megan coming on board, she's going to help us develop that annual report. And I also have one thing to add. Since we put this together, just this morning, I got notification that we received money from our supplemental grant for the Shuttered Venues Operator grant. And that is an additional about $100,000. So we're doing really, really well with our grant applications over the past year. But as we were talking about with Susie before the meeting actually started, a lot of these are one-time grants. It's one-time funding that is available as a result of the coronavirus, as a result of the way that the economy took a dive. And so we can't really expect this to be ongoing dollars. There's a lot of people at the national level that are really lobbying for this to be ongoing dollars, and that you know, organizations like ours really need some sustaining funding in order to be able to move forward the things that we've been growing on in the past couple of years. So keep your fingers crossed on that, but nothing is for sure at the moment. So we're doing the best that we can to leverage the dollars that we have been awarded. So more to come when it comes to how we're going to spend those dollars, because a lot of them are in approval processes at the moment. In our education department, in the last month, basically, the big thing that we worked on was the Santa brunch. And so you can see some details about the Santa brunch and how exciting that was. And hopefully some of you saw the article in the newspaper about it, because it was super cute. The picture that they had on the front page was very adorable. And so there's some details about that. And then going on to the collections piece, in the budget cycle from last year, we were awarded some funds to be able to move our textile storage. So again, for some of you who are new to the board, we were able to build an offsite collections facility a couple of years ago with some money that the city the city gave us some money to be able to build the building, but mostly it was because they kicked us out of the old building. So, you know, it's good and bad. Anyway, it's an offsite facility that at some point we will have all of you there. Some of you have seen it before, and we'll invite the new members to see it again. But left at the museum is still our textile storage. So the textile storage has kind of its own area in the museum. And when we moved the collections from our offsite storage, our temporary offsite storage, to the new offsite storage permanent building, the textile storage was not included in that. And so we were granted some funds to be able to make that move. And so Eric has been working really hard to be able to pull all of those, you know, logistics together, and we'll be starting that process really soon. This month, we've also been able, because of some of the dollars that we've received, we're working on some compact storage that will help us. I don't know if you know about compact storage. Some of you saw it out at the collection center, but essentially it is storage that's on rollers, so it can move together and be super compact, or you can open it up and walk down the aisles to see the things that are in storage. And so we've bought some new carriages for that, and hopefully we're going to be buying a few more to be able to store all of those collections. And then we're also trying to fit a few more of the tours that I've been talking about for city council and city administration to be able to see exactly what's been going on out there at the museum collections.
Where's the offsite center?
It's about 5 miles away from the museum. It is down 119 on County Highway 5. It's not that easy to find, and if you Google it, it's going to take you to the wrong place. So when we do a tour, what we try to do is either caravan or carpool or something like that, so that we get people to the right place. If you're familiar, Bruce, with the shooting range, we're right behind the shooting range on County Highway 5.
Okay.
Does that help?
No, but it's out east, right? It's out east
Yeah.
for 25. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 5 miles east. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about 15,000 square feet. The whole building is about 20,000 square feet, and 5,000 of that is dedicated to police evidence storage. And then the 15,000 is dedicated to the museum. So, and it's, state of the art, humidification and state of the art storage, furniture, and all of that. So we feel really lucky to have that space. And so it'll be a nice transition.
I remember when it was in the cheese importers current. Yeah.
We got kicked out of the cheese
Building.
importers because, those are high real estate values there.
Yeah.
So we got kicked out of that. And so
Right.
but it's a great, it's been, you can ask Eric about it. He should probably speak more directly to it. But ultimately, I feel like it's been a really great place for us because we're right by the shooting range. It feels really secure. It's really great facilities. Eric, do you want to add anything?
You
Yeah,
gotta dodge the bullets though, don't you?
A little bit.
luckily,
Yeah.
it's an indoor shooting range, so no bullets. They do have some exercises periodically, so we get some paintball kind of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great facility for us, and we'll definitely do another advisory board meeting out there at some point, so that the new folks can take a look at it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. What else? Let's see, for collections, Eric continues to present at local groups, and he continues to sell the Longmont 150 book that he's written. And so if new folks, if you don't have a copy of that book, let me know. We'll see what we can do to get you a copy of the book. And then Elizabeth Myers, who is our visitor services manager, she's done a great job of being able to put that on the website so that people can buy it offsite as well. In our exhibitions, we've got 4 new interns that are starting next semester, 2 paid and 2 unpaid. And so their names are listed there. And then they help tremendously. Jared Thompson, who's the curator in exhibitions, does a really, really good job of being a mentor for young people who are interested in exhibitions and museums. And so he's able to really do a great mentoring job working with interns. And so we've just turned over exhibitions. We've got Longmont 150 has moved out. And just yesterday, if I remember correctly, we received the new exhibition, which is the washi Japanese paper exhibition that's going to be opening soon. And that will open on January the 28th. Ultimately, we had hoped to have a reception to bring everybody in to celebrate the opening of that exhibition. But given the numbers that we've seen lately with the coronavirus, we've decided to postpone that. So we're not going to be having the opening right away, but we're going to be keeping an eye on the numbers. And once we see those numbers start going down, we'll find a date that we can really bring people in and celebrate the opening of that exhibit. It's going to be beautiful. We're really, really excited about it. So look forward to that. And then the things that sort of continue in the background are the Teepee to Tiny House exhibition, which is basically an architecture exhibition, but really looking at architecture over time and the way that it pulls from the environment and the materials that are needed for building. And then we've also got an exhibit to look forward to that opens in January of 2023. And that's going to be an Indigenous artist exhibition that Greg Deal is going to curate for us. And I don't know if you guys might be familiar with Greg, but he is a pretty quite famous Indigenous artist who lives in Colorado Springs. And we've met with him a couple of times, and he is going to be a fantastic curator for us and for this exhibition. So we're really looking forward to that. In our auditorium programming, we've got some grant monies that have been helping us with some upgrades, specifically with lighting and the lighting instruments and some of the digital design instruments that are used for that programming. So we're looking forward to bringing those on board soon. I don't know if you guys know, but we've got this funny thing with the supply chain problem at the moment. So a lot of these things are sort of backed up, but we're trying really hard to get them online as soon as we can. We have returned to in-person programming in September, and we really hope that ultimately we're going to be able to continue to make that happen. We do have a lot of COVID protocols in place, and in the last fall, we saw the biggest season we've had yet, which is, I think, something to really be proud of, that in terms of our attendance and in terms of our ticket revenue, our last fall was the best yet. And that was during a pandemic. So I think it's pretty, it's to continue that success and make it grow as things open up a little bit more. So you can see then in the report more details about what those numbers look like, total number. Of course, I'll let you guys read those details for yourselves. And in terms of our visitor services, last month, our gift shop did really, really well. And I think that also feels like a pretty big accomplishment. Anecdotally, we had people coming to the gift shop and telling us that they were coming for the gift shop. So our gift shop is starting to take on its own kind of character and reputation. So that is a big sign of success. And so I think that we're going to be able to really look at the strengths of that and grow the strengths of that, especially with some of the things with the people want those things and they're buying them before the exhibit opens. So that's really good. We've got some new people, staff members at the front desk, and we're hoping to hire a few more. And then in our marketing department, the program catalog, our newsletter, I don't know if you guys have received yours yet. They have, they're in the mail if you've not received yours yet. And I think I'm always really proud when I see the newsletter, because it feels like just the culmination of all the wonderful work that the staff does. And you get to see the breadth of the programming that happens, the educational programs that happen, what to look forward to in the future. It's a beautiful publication that I think really gives you a snapshot of who the museum is. So look forward to that if you don't have it already. And then we're working hard on all of the other collateral that sort of flows out of the beginning of a season. So you can look forward to postcards and that sort of thing. Long ago and far away, we applied for a mask exception policy through the Boulder County Public Health. And ultimately the rationale for that was not that we could go maskless, but that in fact we ask for people's vaccination cards, vaccination status. Did somebody have a question? I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody's voice. Just shout at me if you do, no problem. So what this allows us to do is ask people if they are vaccinated or not. And if they're not vaccinated, then unfortunately they're not going to be able to attend one of our performances in the auditorium. What this allows us to do is that people will remain masked, especially in 250 seat auditorium where you're sitting right next to a stranger. It's smart, it's wise, it's health conscious to remain masked, even if you're vaccinated, even if you're boosted. But we are then able to say that we are a verified facility, that we are able to check people's vaccination status. And so we'll be announcing that very soon. In fact, probably within the next week or so, you'll see a notification about that. And, you know, when we originally requested this variance, what we were hoping for is that people would feel more comfortable in the auditorium and buying tickets to come to a public facility if they knew that everybody around them was vaccinated.
Well, you know,
Tom, I think your hand up, and Renee, your hand up is too. So I don't know who was first. Tom, why don't you go?
Well, I just had a question.
Yeah.
With that new policy of verification of vaccination, are those programs going to be virtual at all so that people that still don't feel comfortable would be able to pay a fee or something and see those?
That's a
It seemed
great,
like we did that somewhere in the, like in the recent
yeah.
years, but I
So
can't
that's a
remember.
great, Tom, that's a really good question, and something that we should probably look into, because what happened during, you know, kind of the height of the pandemic is that we offered all of our programs for free and we live streamed them. What we didn't do is try to figure out how to charge money for a ticketed, you know, for a live stream event. It's challenging, it's difficult. And so I've had other people ask me the same question. So I think it sort of, I think probably we need to look into this to see what we might be able to do for folks who, as you said, they're still not comfortable. So I will make a point of looking into that. I appreciate the question. Renee, did you have a question?
Yes, so I don't want to go against whatever the county public health is. So just from an ER perspective, ER nurse. So we are still seeing quite a bit of transmission between people who are vaccinated and if they are maskless. It is substantial, and that includes booster. So I'm just concerned that we may not, well, I guess my question is, how are we going to word this to the public, and what level of vaccination will you all state is completely vaccinated? Like, does that include the booster?
Right. We had a long conversation with the assistant city manager and the communications manager about this. And at this moment, you know, we're taking all of our leads from Boulder County Health. And at this moment, fully vaccinated does not include the booster, but that could change any day now. So we will follow suit as soon as that changes. You may have missed what I was trying to say with this exception, but although Boulder County Health, it's complicated. We applied for this through what was called the mask exception qualification, right? But we never intended for us to actually not mask. What we were hoping for is to be able to ask for people's vaccination. And that's what Boulder County approved. that we can
Got it.
ask for people's status of vaccination, but we still require masks. So to your point, even vaccinated and boosted people will be wearing masks in the auditorium.
Okay,
Does that
that sounds
answer your
good.
question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay.
sounds. Thank you so much. I think I was a little unclear
No.
as to like if we would still ask for masks or not. And
They have to wear. They have to wear a mask and they have to be vaccinated. And they
Okay,
well,
got it.
they have to wear a mask and they have to be fully vaccinated. Now the thing is that fully vaccinated is a changing target, right?
Yes, it is absolutely.
Susie, did you have a question? Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
Thank you for
I
that question.
I had a
appreciate it.
comment. And so Centennial Ballet, I've done work with them in the past. They live streamed their events for a fee. So I was able to watch their Nutcracker and their fall and spring galas. So they have really good, like I've been able to do it with ease, and I pay my fee and then I'm able to have access. So I don't know if you wanted to reach out, if you're kind of looking about what that structure would look like, they might be a good contact.
Great. We'll talk to them. We will talk to them. What we had done is that, like I said, during the height of the pandemic, everything was free and we just did a live stream. And then after that, anything that was free, we live streamed. But anything that was a ticketed event, we didn't live stream. So I do think that what we're seeing now, especially with this surge, is that we should probably look into how we might be able to do, that combination. And then Bruce, I'm sorry, did you?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea because, you don't want to lose these. Oh, can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah, go
Be able to lose any kind of funding. And I think that, just having that option for people, I really think people would take up on that.
Part of what we were responding to, this is gone like this, right? And part of what we were responding to is that at some point people were just like, I don't want to do anything online anymore. Get me away from a computer, blah, 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 blah. But it's still, it's such a moving target. So I think you're right, Susie, that if we can essentially have a kind of hybrid, then that probably really addresses the most people we possibly can. Yep. And Bruce, I'm sorry, did you have a question? I interrupted you at some point.
Oh, no. I was just going to say that the Boulder music venues do exactly what you're talking about.
It's been, we've been trying to navigate this because part of it is that we are a public organization. So, we're city funded. And so a lot of private organizations can just come out and do whatever protocols they want to do. So we have to be able to follow the guidelines that are kind of prescribed to us. And so this was part of the way that we felt like we would be able to, again, ask for vaccinations and be able to require masks. And so Boulder County Public Health approved that. And we're just now, and then this has been a while ago. And so we're just now implementing it with our new season, starting, I think, February the 3rd is when we're officially going to be launching this new policy.
Yeah.
And the recreation center, I experienced this a little bit. We expect a little bit of backlash, and that's kind of to be expected. But our job really is to be the most responsible that we possibly can, and that's where we're coming from with this. It's one thing to go in really quickly and buy something and get out, but it's another thing to sit next to a stranger for 2 hours during a performance. So that's where we really feel like we are obligated to be as precautious as we can. Any other questions about that before I move on? Okie doke. Let's see. Oh, the only thing left then on the report is the art and public places portion of what we're doing. And so as part of the Longmont 150, the city commissioned a piece by Julie Lydell. And so this is essentially a poster that you'll be able to buy. And it is, and there's a photograph that's included in the report that is basically kind of a mid-mod rendition of Long's Peak with Longmont across the top of it. And so Sandy Cedar was really involved with this, and we're really excited about the outcome. I think it's a beautiful poster. And then we've got Angela Brill with our Public Places Administration. She's been working with artist DJ Drake to talk about potential collaboration for soul education and a performance. And then we've also got the cultural plan that is sort of on the horizon. This is something that we've been talking about for a long time now and haven't really had the funding to kind of gel this project. But essentially a cultural plan would be something that is really community driven and that we get a lot of feedback from different artists and creators in the community to understand sort of what a strategic plan can look like going forward in the city of Longmont. And so Art and Public Places will provide a little bit of funding. The city manager's office would provide a little funding, and the museum would provide a little funding. And then the Longmont Downtown Development Authority would provide a little funding to be able to make this happen. And it's good timing because we're also revisiting the comprehensive plan Envision Longmont for the whole of the city. And so ideally what will happen is that the Envision Longmont planning will happen in conjunction with the cultural plan, and we'll be able to make sure that those things speak to each other. That's all I got for my director's report. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Okie doke. I really appreciate all of your very thoughtful questions. So keep them coming so we make sure that everybody knows what's going on.
Great, thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Bryden.
Report of the chair is up next. There is none. I have nothing to report. For those of you who are new, that is pretty common. There's not a lot of chair reporting going on here. So we will move on now to unfinished business, the interpretive plan adoption. Who is bringing this up?
I guess that's me. This is something that we shared a couple of meetings ago. This was a project that was a result of our strategic planning and sort of trying to understand, you know, we've got a very broad mission statement. So how in the heck does it help us make good decisions? And so we contracted with a very well-respected consultant who walked us through this interpretive plan. And ultimately, it really helped all of us. I think as a staff, we all agreed that this was such a great tool to be able to reflect on and make decisions about. And without going into too much detail, because I think you all have the document, basically what she was able to draw out of all of the work that we currently do, you know, not recreating anything, not changing what we do, but just sort of reframing what we do. She was able to draw out two major themes. One was Longmont Proud, and the other was Bring the Beyond. And so, you know, we do have a very broad mission statement, and to be able to kind of funnel it through those lenses really helps us understand why we do what we do. We're not just about Longmont and Longmont history. We are also about bringing international, national content and culture to Longmont for Longmont to have in their backyard. And so I think that this has been a really good report for us to be able to reflect upon internally. And what I would hope to ask you all to do tonight is to sort of put your stamp of approval on it as a good document for us to be able to kind of guide our ship by, if you will. So I throw it to you if you all want to be able to make a motion and approve the plan.
Well,
Or if you have questions for me, yeah. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, just to make sure, you feel this gives you the continued flexibility to do what you've been doing in the past? From Ansel Adams to Exhibit 150?
Yeah, in fact, I feel like part of what we experienced internally, especially, is how we could justify both of those things. And what this does for us is that it really gives us the frame and the vocabulary to understand why we're doing that. And so, you know, a traditional history museum would focus just on Longmont. An art museum might focus on, you know, national, international artists. We are an interdisciplinary institution. And so being able to have that framework to make decisions and have that flexibility that you're talking about, I think has become a really useful tool for us.
Okay, sounds good. That's also very good for fundraising too, to have that
Exactly, right.
perspective. Yeah. Sounds great.
Dale, go ahead.
You're muted,
Dale,
Dale.
you're muted.
Still muted.
You're still muted. Dale, you're muted still.
Bottom
Now.
left hand.
Sorry, I realize this is primarily an internal document, but I think it is so well written and so clear that anybody could learn an awful lot about the museum and what we're about just by reading it. So kudos to whoever wrote it. I thought it was beautifully written and really well put together.
That's really
Having said that, though, the same thing I said before about Appendix A goes. You left out in the history of the museum, you talk about whoever talks about the museum, and they don't move it to the present site. And then all of a sudden they're building the Stewart Auditorium. And I just think it needs a sentence of when the museum located to its present location. So
Yeah,
that's my only.
that was a big pain in the ass, I can tell you. I was I was on the board then. It was a pain in the ass. Anyway, an irrelevant
Dale,
state.
yeah. For the record.
I was gonna say, can we make sure that's in the minutes? Let's remember.
Dale, thank you for those comments. And I agree with you. I think that our consultant is Beth Kaminsky, and she's worked for a number of museums, and one of her strengths is writing. And so I think that it comes through in this report. And I can't remember, Katie, maybe it was you who last time when we were talking about it, you said maybe we should just share this on the website. So you know, with a few modifications like you're talking about, Dale, maybe it's totally appropriate to share on the website and just say, you know, this is our vision. So we'll talk about that.
Any other questions or comments before we look at voting at this?
I do think especially like the two lenses, this idea of like Longmont Proud and Bring the Beyond would be really nice to share out with the public, because I think like there might be certain people who are like, oh, like I'm not that interested in Longmont history, thus the museum is not for me. And this idea that like it is so much more than that, I think can be a really important idea. And especially like bringing people from other counties in, like why is the Longmont Museum relevant to you as well? And I know that's part of like the level 2 is like needing to bring in like people from the outside as well. And so I think those two lenses just like are really quick, easy phrases that anyone can get. and can kind of capture that vision for people.
Yeah, you don't really need to post the entire document. You could post an abstract that's easily digestible on the website that would, you know, give a good brand to the museum.
Right.
Rather than have the public wade through, you know, pages and pages of the document.
Yeah. There's really just a small portion of that that is the meat of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can file an FOIA for the entire document.
Indeed.
Great. Well, that was great discussion, y'all. Is there a motion to accept this interpretive plan?
A motion to accept.
Thanks, Katie. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thanks, Kaylee. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, that is unanimous. Excellent. All right, next up, do we have any new business or board comments? If not, then we can call this meeting adjourned. Do we have a motion for that? Thank you, Tom. And do we have a second? Thank you, Dale. All in favor? Raise your hands. And I call this meeting adjourned. Thanks, y'all. It is
Great.
5:21, Joanne. And yeah, thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
Happy
Right.
New Year,
Thank
everybody.
you very much.
Happy New
Stay
Year.
healthy, stay safe.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Kate.
Bye.
All righty, good
Kim.
night. Thank you, Bryden. You
Yeah,
guys
thanks,
take
y'all.
care. You take
Take
care of
care.
that new baby. Bye.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet that new baby.
Yeah, I can show you photos at some point. He's
Okay.
he's a biggin.
He's he's a brute. He's a brute.
Yeah, he's a big guy. And actually, gosh, my toddler broke his foot last week.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not bad, but he's in a boot now, and so we're kind of carrying him everywhere, and life is just crazy pants.
That's not helpful when you've got a yeah, that's not that helpful when you've got a little baby at home either. Well, best wishes to your wife too.
Thank you. Yeah, we're doing okay. Great to see y'all.
You
Take care.
too. Thanks,
Okay,
Bryden. We'll see you soon.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see.